which they have lost, from their physical needs to a hope for a brighter future. And we're committed to helping them find their God-given purposes. By equipping them with the new skills, it's possible to see a brighter future for themselves and for their children. And finally, we want to empower them to go boldly after their dreams with confidence. Each week, we offer life skills that give our ladies the tools that they can use to rebuild. From teaching budgeting classes to creating healthy boundaries, we strive to give our survivors everything that they need for a brighter future. You can read more about this inside your folders, some of the things that we've been doing. Right now, we're working on a curriculum called Ending the Game. Ending the Game was designed by a survivor and a team of professionals, and it's designed to educate and empower survivors by providing a framework and a structure, introducing them and explaining to them psychological coercion, by revealing these mind-controlling techniques that are often used by traffickers and sexual abusers. Survivors are empowered with the skills that they need to end the game. And the feedback that I've had from the women that I've been working with has been overwhelming. They can now see how they've become victims of sexual exploitation, and they now have the tools that they need to make a more educated decision to leave the game, a game in which there are never any winners. We also try to balance our program with some fun. From bonfires and movie nights to Easter egg hunts and tea parties, we know that healing comes from a variety of sources. But the most important key is for survivors to know that they have someone who cares for them and somebody that knows that they matter. They need a safe place to come to share their struggles without any judgment, and that's what they find at Into the Jordan. Discipleship and mentorship are key to our ministry. As Sharon said earlier, she came alongside that survivor, and this was able to be birthed from that. So we need volunteers to come alongside us and point these precious women to the one that can save them. So if you're interested in volunteering, I encourage you to see the varied volunteer opportunities that we have in our packets. And there is an application that's available on our website. There are many ways that you can use your gifts in our ministry. Volunteers must attend a orientation and training, and our next volunteer training is coming up on November the 11th, so mark your calendars now. Finally, none of this would be possible if it weren't for individuals like you who see the value in what we do and partner with us to help these victims. I'd like to say a special thank you to those in the audience who are current donors. Your continued support makes all of this happen. Thank you to those who are here for the first time. Perhaps you came here to learn more about what we do to help end human trafficking and support survivors. I encourage you to take time to look through the information that's in your folder and continue to get involved, either through financial support or serving on a team. I would now like to introduce you to my friend and fellow laborer in this field and our honored guest speaker this evening, Dr. Marianne Thomas. Marianne is the Director of Human Trafficking for One More Child and works in Polk County, overseeing 10 of the counties in Florida, as well as their mobile units and their safe home for minors. Tonight, she is going to share with us her experience in working in the field and some of the myths and misconceptions that are common in our country. Please help me welcome my dear friend, Dr. Marianne Thomas.
Good evening. My name is Marianne Thomas, and she did say doctor, and I'm quite proud of that, but that's not why I'm here. that does make me an expert in complex trauma. My degree is in behavioral psychology, and so I studied human behavior because I was curious as to why people do what they do. I always had that fascination, even as a small child, trying to figure out why people behave the way they do. Do we have to behave that way? And so that's why I studied that field. But what really brought me to that and what really makes me an expert is my lived experience. I am a human trafficking survivor, and so I bring that experience to the work that I do every day. And that is what led me into school, because that was my path out. Someone placed me in a classroom, and I just ran with it. And I tried to figure out what had happened in my brain in order for me to understand what this looks like. And so I want to help you all understand what this looks like this evening. I love the movie Taken. I think it's entertaining. I think it's just action-packed, and I like every bit of it. However, that is not what human trafficking looks like. Only 5% of human trafficking victims are snatched. 5%. The real way traffickers get to you is by knowing you. They build relationship. We heard Joanne say about the psychological coercion. What it is they get to know you and they slowly isolate you from anyone or anything you've ever known. They start pushing those boundaries for you subtly at first. They don't just rush up. It's not the boogeyman. They don't come after you and attack you. Not very often. They come to you as a friend. They come to you as a boyfriend or a girlfriend, your best friend in school. And they slowly push boundaries that you think you have until you no longer know what your boundaries are. It's that slow persuasion and the way they pull you in and then push you away and pull you back in that makes you keep going back for more, no matter what they do. That's why it's so important to know who's around you and to know how to find safe people. But if all you've ever known is abuse, you don't know who's safe. You don't know who to trust. And so you're even more vulnerable to those people who want to harm you. The movie's awesome. It goes on, if you've seen it before, where a girl is snatched and she is then held up and chained. And I bet you've seen ads like that with girls with their arms tied. It doesn't look like that. That's not what trafficking is either. Sure, some girls get locked up. Some girls get chained up. Boys too, but I tend to say girls. But that's not what it looks like for most of us. What they do is with that slow coercion of trying to gain your trust and get you to care about them more than you've ever cared about anything, they also just work with you. They get you to want to be there. They convince you that you want to be there. They convince you that it's your choice. They convince you that this is something you chose to do. They say things like, if you really loved me, you would do this. If you really cared about our family, you would do this. In the movie, they also drug the girls. They're all strung out. That happens. More than likely, though, that addiction that you see in a survivor came from trying to numb the pain of what she was going through. It wasn't that she was an addict and then she became a human trafficking victim. It's that she was a victim first and then needed those drugs to just get through each and every day. In the movie, they also show that these girls are being bought by these rich men from other countries. That happens, not 95% of the time. The U.S. is the #1 purchaser of people for sex. We're #1. They're not sending us across borders. They're not pulling us in from other borders. It's right here. What Into the Jordan does is primarily domestic sex trafficking. Homegrown girls grew up right here, being sold on our streets. That is my story. I grew up in Fort Myers. I grew up in the church. I grew up with the family that everybody thought was perfect. My parents were together. My dad was a deacon in a church. It really looked like on the outside that we had it all together. Inside, behind closed doors, it was a different story. My life was filled with abuse from the moment I was born. I have been physically tortured, sexually abused. I have been emotionally abused, and I've been financially abused by the people I was supposed to trust the most. When a little girl has that in her life, she does not know how to find safe people after that. I did not know who I could trust because the only people I was supposed to trust, the people that all of TV told me to trust, the people that all of the movies told me to trust, could not be trusted. I saw that they did one thing in public and another thing in private. And so that is what I learned. When my father kicked me out of the house at 15 years old, nobody came looking for me. Not a church member, not a school teacher, not a friend's family. It was like I was just gone. That's how the traffickers get you. They push you so far away from the people who care about you that by the time you walk away willingly, you've been so isolated that people around you blame you. People in society blame us because it looks like we started to misbehave first. That's why they don't snatch us. There's too much attention if you snatch a girl. Police show up. There are missing persons reports. But if you can get a girl or boy to slowly push back those boundaries, and you can get them to slowly start to act out with their family and push back on their family, when they walk away, nobody even notices because they've already deemed them a bad kid. And then they are a prime target for every trafficker after that. That's what happens to us. Once you're in that life, it's not an easy way out. The women that find their way to Into the Jordan are fortunate because that's not most of us. And that's why we are in this work. And that's why I am here speaking to you. Because what I do know is that there is hope. Obviously, I didn't stay in that life, and I was in it for a very long time. But here I am now, and I'm telling you that I have all these fancy pieces of paper, and that sounds like a really good thing. But it took people like you, people who were willing to sit in a room with me, who were able to listen to me, who were able to pay attention. The term human trafficking is fairly new. It hasn't been around for that long, and I'm a little bit older. And so when I was in that life, we didn't have this term. We didn't know what it was. We didn't know what to call it. I was called things. I was called dirty. I was called a hoe. I was the bad one. And my trafficker was the king. They all loved him. Society loved him. He wasn't the boogeyman. He didn't look like somebody that you wouldn't hang around. He was everybody's friend. And because of that, he was able to slip me in and out of society very easily, where people did not notice me. People didn't notice the abuse I was going through. And people really didn't want to get involved when I tried to reach out. Into the Jordan makes that different now for the women coming out. They have a place to go. They have a place to reach out to. That didn't exist before. I was sitting in a training, sort of like this, not quite as nice, where they started ticking off the list of what human trafficking was. I had already gotten my master's degree and was working towards my PhD, sitting with my friend Laura, who is here with us tonight. And we were in a training because we worked in social services. And everything on the checklist, I could check off, every single box. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is what happened to me. It wasn't me. It wasn't what I did. Somebody did this to me. Somebody controlled my brain. Now, I like to fancy myself a very tough individual, and so that was hard for me to swallow for quite a while. I did not like the term victim, still don't very much. But being able to say it wasn't me was just so much freedom that I was able to say, hey, this wasn't okay. It's not all right that this is what happened. And then I made it my mission to find out everything I could about human trafficking and understand it. And then this opportunity came for me to actually live this out and educate other people so that when you go out in the world, when you're in your Sunday school class, when you're walking through your child's classroom, when you're at the mall, you'll see the signs of someone who may be a victim. You'll not shun away from them, that you will go up to them, that you will try to help them, that you will call law enforcement if that's what's necessary. But I need you to see us first, because you can't help us if you don't see us. And that's the most important part. And that's why I do this every day, because it's so important to me for us all to be seen, for us all to get help. We need so much help. We need help in all kinds of ways, and I know that they're going to explain this to you later, but I need you to hear how important it is to get involved with whatever your time or talent is. We lose so much while we're in the streets. Anything that I should have learned as a normal citizen, I didn't. No one taught me. And so I had to figure it out on my own. I don't want to see the girls and guys that come behind me have to do that. I want us to stand together. If you know how to help somebody fill out resumes, we need you. If you can help someone with their taxes, we need you. If you can tutor in a classroom, we need you. If you can teach a parenting class, we definitely need you, because you know what? We come out of that life with children, and we don't know what we are doing. And we need all of the help. And often, people think that once you get us out of that life, it's okay, that that's the end and we are good. That is just the beginning. That is when we need the most help, because that's when we're trying to figure out how to live in society. We're trying to figure out how to budget. We're trying to figure out how to pay our rent. What do you do when the electric company is calling you and you don't have enough money? We don't know how to do any of those things. And we need you all to walk alongside us and hold our hand. And that doesn't mean tell us. You can't just tell us to go do something, because we physically cannot. I need you to hold my hand and walk me to the electric company and show me how to pay a bill. I need you to walk me all the way. The person who helped me walk out of trafficking didn't recognize anything magical, just knew that I helped with math homework. That was my big skill. I skipped school most of my high school career, but I happened to just love math, and so something stuck. And so I helped my friend with math homework. And that one simple step made that person turn around and pay for not only my first semester in school, because I didn't have money, but also walked me to the registration office, walked me to each meeting I had to go to, walked me to my first class, and stuck with me until I could figure it out on my own. And once they started that ball rolling, I got a PhD. I just needed somebody to walk me through that first step, that's all. I want to thank you all for coming out to support Into the Jordan tonight. This means more to me than you will ever know. It is personal. I was sold in this town, and it means a lot to me to see this much support in the town that did treat me so badly for so many years. And now I know that that doesn't have to happen to anybody else. I know that there is good support in this town and that people are going to come and stand along survivors and work with us and walk with us every step of the way. Thank you all so much.
My name is Lisa, and I absolutely need to testify about how God is so gracious and merciful.
Look what you've done.
I've struggled with cocaine addiction for the past 25 years, on and off. I've had clean time, but I've also had chaotic time. My life has included being human trafficked. I've been in physically, emotionally, and verbally abusive relationships. I have been a bad parent. I have been to college. I have ran businesses, and I have also been in the trenches of everything dirty you could ever think of.
Look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies and let my heart believe.
I was referred into the Jordan almost 2 years ago, thinking that there was no way I would ever be accepted into any type of situation because I didn't know what human trafficking was. I thought human trafficking was people being kidnapped and put in containers and shipped to the other side of the world. And when I did the questionnaire and realized that I had been human trafficked, not only did it make me realize some of the shame and embarrassment that I had carried, thinking that I was never valuable enough for God to save, I realized that this was a time that I needed healing. I went to a women's recovery house. I lived there for almost 2 years. They actually referred into the Jordan to me, and I am so glad and grateful that I was accepted into this community of women for support, for life skills, and also for the opportunity to do their internship, because without that, I believe that I would have continued to live in my guilt and shame. My life has been so blessed since I have submitted to God and allowed Him to heal the wounded emotions and hurt feelings that I had, the shame that I carried, the guilt that I carried, and also the love support that I have.
Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies and let my heart believe. Look at me now. Look how you made me new. Oh,
Through Into the Jordan, I have been able to go to school to work on being a certified biblical counselor. I have completed 2 semesters. My goal and my heart's desire is to help other women that have gone through similar things to me, but also the opportunity to minister and guide them in a godly way.
with my hands lifted high, I'm singing, look what you've done.
Wow. First of all, thank you, Marianne, for sharing that with us. It's really sobering when you think about things that go on right here in Lee County and then throughout the United States, that it's all right here. And appreciate your walking us through that. And I've been blessed to be part of the board of Into the Jordan and to know a little bit about what's going on here in Fort Myers, but I always just, every time I hear it, I can't believe it. I mean, we all have significant people in our lives that can be groomed and taken away without us even knowing it. So again, thank you, and appreciate that video as well. We've had a lot of fun tonight with the auction. I look forward to getting those results, but I'm here to ask you to prayerfully consider financially coming alongside this amazing ministry so that they can continue this work here in Fort Myers and beyond. The money that you give, either tonight as a one-time gift, an annual gift, or an ongoing gift, is going to an amazing ministry. A ministry that would love to have you come alongside, not only as a volunteer with some of those things that were mentioned, but financially. If you look through the material, you know it takes about $500 per individual to support as they enter the program, they get counseling, they get the help they need in order to get out of the life. $500 a month. I know some of you, that's a lot of money, but for some of you, maybe it's not. And so I'd ask for you to prayerfully consider $500, $100, $250. There's a card inside your material that you received. It says how you can give. There's an opportunity, as I mentioned, for monthly, one-time, annual, Visa, MasterCard, and my favorite thing, push pay. How many people love push pay? If you don't know push pay, there's a QR code either on the inside of that folder or up on the screen you can scan. Once you set it up, you can give monthly or give one-time gifts as you are led to do that. It's a wonderful, wonderful app. I've been using it for 5 years extensively at the church, and it's great. So push pay, checks are accepted, but let's just take a moment, think about what you might do, and then I'll have a word of prayer and we'll continue.
Look what you've done. How could you fall so far? You should be ashamed of yourself. So I was ashamed of myself. The lies I believed, they got some roots that run deep. I let them take a hold of my life. I let them take control of my life. Standing in your presence, Lord, I can feel you digging all the roots up. I feel you healing all my wounds up. All I can say is hallelujah. Look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies I let my heart believe. Look at me now. 'Cause you made me new. The enemy did everything that he could do. Oh, but look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies I let my heart believe. Look at me now. Look how you made me new. The enemy did everything that he could do. Oh, but look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies I let my heart believe. Look at me now. Look how you made me new. The enemy did everything that he could do. Oh, but look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies I let my heart believe. Look at me now. Look how you made me new. The enemy did everything that he could do. Oh, but look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies I let my heart believe. Look at me now. Look how you made me new. The enemy did everything that he could do. Oh, but look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies I let my heart believe. Look at me now. Look how you m The enemy did everything that he could do. Oh, but look what you've done. Suddenly all the shame is gone. I thought I was too broken, now I see you were breaking new ground inside of me. Standing in your presence, Lord, I can feel you digging all my roots up. I feel you healing all my wounds up. All I can say is hallelujah. Look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies I let my heart believe. Look at me now. Look how you made me new.
Gracious Heavenly Father, you have done it all for each and every one of us. You sustain our every breath. You help our heart beat, Lord. And I ask tonight you would open our hearts to generosity in giving to this amazing ministry, Lord, that you would place in each person here tonight just a desire to give, Lord, and just a determination on how to give, Heavenly Father. You own the cattle on 1,000 hills. Nothing ever catches you off guard. You know the needs of this ministry to impact these precious souls that have been beaten by life, beaten by supposed friends. Lord, I just ask tonight that we could all plug into this ministry and be part of what you're doing to get these women and men off the street, these boys and girls. Help us to give and help us to give generously tonight, Jesus. It's in your name we pray. Amen. If you fill the cards out, you can just turn them over on the table, and we'll be around after the evening and pick those up. Thank you.
Okay. Wow, that was pretty powerful. I don't know about you, but every time I watch that video, I just get tears in my eyes and I get all choked up. And I know Lisa and I love that woman. And just like I said, the work that I get to see God doing in these women's lives has just been amazing. And I wish that you could come alongside me and be there to see that as well. I was asked to stall a little bit. Our auction's not quite ready, so
this is you stalling?
This is me stalling.
Okay.
But I just want to refer you back to our folders again. That another way that you can get involved, not just as a volunteer, but I don't think we mentioned that we do have a resale boutique called the Fig Leaf. We accept donations of all shapes and sizes. We ask that they be gently worn items that are clean, like new. We accept furniture, we accept linens, household items. Liz Smith is our store manager. She is out in the lobby. We have, you can talk to her if you like, but our store is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 4. We have a late night on Thursdays. We stay open until 7. But you are welcome to drop off donations then. Anything that you want to get rid of, we would be happy to take from you. The Fig Leaf also allows us the opportunity to provide a work-study program for our ladies, so they can kind of learn those soft skills that are needed in the job field, and we can kind of prepare them. We do career coaching and resume building, and they get to go through a 6-month program that can prepare them for something else. We help them to apply for scholarships and apply to school if they want to go back to school. I love, that we can have that opportunity to do that. So I encourage you to stop in and check out our wonderful inventory. We get new stuff all the time. We are also making products. So there's a booth outside in the foyer as well where we sell t-shirts. You're going to see t-shirts out there with our 4 pillars. We haven't quite finished our Empower t-shirt yet, but we do have t-shirts from each of our other 3 pillars, plus some other faith-based t-shirts and other items that are for sale tonight. So please feel free to check that out.
And where's that located again?
The Fig Leaf Boutique is right across from Lee Memorial Hospital, 2701 Cleveland Avenue. It's right beside Jimmy John's. That's where our offices are as well. We do not have any distinguishing marks, like no signs outside letting anybody know where we are for our office space. Okay, but the Fig Leaf is kind of our front, and we're right there on Route 41. So you're welcome to come and visit us there.
That was me stalling with you.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Just a couple of quick questions, too, that I know that I've heard over the course of the night, and maybe, Wade, you can think of some more as you hear me saying these. But one of the things that I hear people saying is, how do the girls hear about you, right? Where do we get these women? Where do we find these survivors? And truth be told, it's through word of mouth. These women are often in recovery groups together, and so if they hear one another's stories and they say, you know what, your story sounds similar to mine, I think I know a place where you can kind of get some help. And so they just kind of grab arms and link arms with them and bring them in and say, maybe this person could, use some of our resources. So I then do an intake with them, make sure that they qualify for our program, and then we can help them with resources. Now, what are some of the resources that we offer? In the highlights bulletin, you'll see that we do rent assistance. We also do personal hygiene. So every week after group, when the ladies, before they leave, they get to go to our hygiene closet and get what they need, including toilet paper, which I didn't realize was such a hot commodity. When you're living on food stamps, that's not something that's covered. So they love, being able to get a free roll of toilet paper. In addition to other things. And then another thing that we do provide are gas cards or some kind of transportation to help them to get to us, or to get their kids to a doctor's appointment during the week. So we pass out $10 gas cards or Uber cards, or we provide them with a bus pass to help them with their transportation needs. So those are just some of the things that we do at Into the Jordan.
Joanne, I know there are many, many different churches represented here. Some that maybe you don't have a relationship with, many that you do. What's the next step for them as far as contacting you, getting you to come over to share the ministry with their church body?
Yeah, I would love to give you a tour if you are here and you haven't been to our office space. We just kind of remodeled. It's really beautiful. But the next step would be just to reach out to me and set up a time that you can come in and you can kind of tour our office space. You can get a backstage tour of the Fig Leaf, and I can show you where it all began. And yeah, I would love to sit down and meet and see how we can partner together, because we can't do this on our own. We can't do it just with one church. We as the body of Christ, right, need to come together and wrap our arms around these precious women and show them that they're loved and cared for.
And the resources really are in the harvest field to support a ministry like this. Through many individuals, many churches coming together, we can really come alongside and just really take this to the next level as far as support for these women, different opportunities to give them, just the things that you do with them to help with their healing is just truly amazing.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's an honor. It's an honor to serve with you.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Oh, look at us. I think we did it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now is the time that I know many of you have been waiting for. In this little container is our winner for our 1-week stay in Sanibel. Whoop, one of them popped out. How about you?
No, I don't want to do it. I filled some out, so
Well, I did too.
I don't think that would be fair because I will not feel bad about winning
Did you
it.
fill one out? Melinda? Did you fill one out? Okay, will you come up and pick then?
Yes,
Here
there
we
we
go.
go.
This is another board member,
Yeah.
Melinda. She's going to pick our winner for us. All right, who is it?
I can't see it.
Georgina. 239-405-2277.
Where's Georgina? All right. That is an amazing, amazing week.
Congratulations. You never win anything? Well,
All
you
expenses
did tonight.
paid. Your prize package is worth. No, just
How
kidding.
many tickets did you buy? Did you buy one?
Oh.
She bought one ticket.
All those multiple ticket
Wow.
people are going.
I darn it. Darn it.
Let's go. It was
All right.
good. It
That
was
was
good. It's a
very good.
generous, generous gift.
It is a very generous gift. I hope
Absolutely.
you enjoyed that week. Yes. All right, now, I think we need to thank some people.
Yes, absolutely.
So the first people that I would like to thank are my board. If you are a part of my board, I would like you to stand up and just be recognized. There are several board members that are out of state, but they still continue to support us. So I just want to say thank you to my lovely board. I would also like to say thank you to, can you have the next slide, please? I know I did these, but which one's next? Oh, yes, our church partners. Okay, so we partner with Summit and Refuge Cypress Lake Methodist Church and McGregor Baptist, so thank you to our church members. Oh, and I can't see that. Okay, sorry, and City Gate, thank you. And none of this could be possible without my events team. First and foremost, Jenna. Are you here, Jenna? Please come forward. Okay, well then just stand there and wave. Okay.
Well done, Jenna.
And Stephanie beside her have worked endlessly, okay, to put this together. When we first started talking about having a fundraising dinner, I wanted a hoedown. I don't know. I was just like, let's make it easy. And Jenna's like, no, we can do better. So I think she outdid herself. I don't know how we'd ever top this, but thank you, Jenna, Stephanie, and my entire event team for all the hard work. Every chair, every piece of silverware was polished. It was amazing. Okay. And finally, I want to thank those of you that were our silver sponsors. They're up on the screen. And our table sponsors. Thank you so much for just believing in us, for investing in us. You know, this could not have been possible without you. So please make sure that you check out these local businesses that supported us and thank these individuals. And I guess that's our evening.
That's our evening. Do we announce the winners? How do they know if they got something?
Thank you. So, all the bid sheets have been collected. You are welcome to stay and mingle for a little bit, okay? And then what you're going to do is when you leave, you can go outside and you can check to see which items your bid was the highest on that you have won, and then you can check out in the lobby, okay? They will have them all gathered together, and you'll see what you won, okay? So thank you again for joining us this evening. I am so grateful to each and every one of you, and if I haven't gotten the opportunity to meet you, I hope to meet you out in the lobby. Have a good night.
Thank you all.